What's up, guys? Part-Time Gamer Dad here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you how I would book this King of the Ring tournament based on the current participants. I originally had an idea of what I would do with Drew McIntyre in the mix. I actually would have McIntyre go to face Gunther in the Raw final, only for CM Punk to cost him that. But now Drew McIntyre is out. He is not medically cleared, is the word going around the street. So we have Jey Uso replacing him. Jey Uso defeated Finn Balor to progress to the next round. Ilya Dragunov defeated Ricochet to go to the next round. And Gunther defeated Sheamus. So we have three of the Raw guys solidified. Kofi versus Ray is going to happen on a house show. I have Ray winning that. And then we have the SmackDown side of things. I guess here's the bracket right here. It's on your screen right now. This is the way the current bracket is laid out. I'm going to talk to you about like what I would have really quickly to get us to the final four and then book out the final four participants of King of the Ring. So like I just said, we have Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, and Jey Uso already in the second round. And we're going to have Kofi versus Ray. I would have Ray win that. I would have Ray defeat Kofi because as great as Kofi is, there's more of a storyline for Ray in King of the Ring, especially regarding Carlito, LWO, and obviously Judgment Day's around with Dom. But have Ray win. And then I'm just going to kind of finish up the Raw side. I would have Gunther defeat Ray. You could have one of two ways that it happens, right? You could have Carlito come out and cost Ray the match, which is fine. Or you just have Gunther straight up destroy Ray, which I think would be great. And kind of rebuild Gunther after that loss to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, which is what they did with him and Sheamus on Raw. Holy cow. Like, did you see Sheamus's chest after Raw, dude? It was insane. So Gunther to defeat Ray, take him to the Raw final. And then you have Jey versus Ilya Dragunov. I think either way, Gunther's going to defeat whoever it is. You have this story of Jey Uso having almost beaten Gunther for the IC title, so you're going to have this rematch, which could be good. You also have Ilya Dragunov, like this new guy who is built up a great reputation for himself on NXT. He was, before Sami Zayn, like the last guy to beat Gunther. He made him tap out and in that historic NXT UK championship reign. So Ilya Dragunov or Jey Uso. I think give Ilya Dragunov a really good showing, but have Jey Uso win. And the reason being is, if you have Ilya Dragunov go on this tear and have him face Gunther in the final of Raw, I think you kind of miss some of the storyline elements that we could build to having Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov on a bigger stage than a Monday Night Raw. This kind of goes back to the Stone Cold Steve Austin argument against Brock Lesnar for the King of the Ring tournament back in 2002. Why would you put a match that you could promote and put on pay-per-view on a random Raw? That's my feeling on Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther. So I'd have Jey Uso win. And then you have Jey versus Gunther for the Raw side, and I would have Gunther win. And whether that is the result of Judgment Day costing him that victory, or it's just straight up Gunther beating Jey, which I would prefer, then Gunther ends up being the Raw representative going to the finals at King of the Ring. So let's talk about SmackDown. There's a number of matches for the SmackDown side. You have Orton versus AJ Styles. I would have AJ go through, and I would have the Bloodline cost Randy Orton that victory. There's still a lot of legs, especially with Tanga Loa coming along. So now you have the WWE version of Guerrillas of Destiny, GOD, which obviously I don't think they're going to call them the Guerrillas of Destiny, but you can have them cost Orton that match. Then you're also going to have in that same bracket Carmelo Hayes versus Baron Corbin. This is the one that I could call without a shadow of a doubt. Carmelo Hayes defeats Baron Corbin. Put him on display. Get Carmelo versus AJ out of the way, man. That's going to be such a great match, especially after Cody wrestled Carmelo Hayes right before that WWE Championship match against AJ Styles at Backlash France. I think have Carmelo versus AJ. It's a nice little bookend. And then have Carmelo have a great showing, but have AJ Styles win that to go to the SmackDown final. And then on the other side of the bracket, we have LA Knight, against Santos Escobar. LA Knight walks away with that victory very easily. I don't see why you wouldn't continue just push him through all the way. Have him just, you want to sell tickets, right? LA Knight, as much as this, I don't really love the whole like Saudi Arabia arrangement. You get him and a foreign market man, and they're going to go nuts. It blows my mind that he wasn't at Backlash in some capacity, because they would have gone crazy, especially that crowd in France. And then on the other side of things, you have Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga, sorry. And I would have Tama Tonga win. I don't know how you get Lashley to lose in that situation. I think you have bloodline interference, but I would have Tama Tonga win just to kind of solidify him as a singles guy too. Although I totally see him, Tonga Loa, being a tag team. But have him win, put him through to the next round, and then have Orton and Owens cost him the next round against LA Knight. Therefore, setting up LA Knight versus AJ Styles in their rubber match, because LA Knight won at WrestleMania. AJ Styles won the number one contenders tournament against LA Knight to go wrestle Cody Rhodes at Backlash France for the undisputed WWE Championship. And now we have LA Knight, AJ Styles 3 on pay-per-view, because I think it'll be at King of the Ring, which will be epic. And I would have LA Knight defeat AJ Styles, setting up an overall King of the Ring final of Gunther versus LA Knight. You could make an argument for either of them to win. I think given that Cody Rhodes is the WWE Championship, Damian Priest is the World Heavyweight Champion, and I don't see that changing necessarily, I would have Gunther win, and I would have him win very decisively, come out of King of the Ring and say, I'm not going to cash in my championship match at Clash of the Castle. So that gives Drew McIntyre the opportunity to go cash in a championship opportunity against Damian Priest to get retribution for cashing in on him at WrestleMania. And then Drew McIntyre could win the title in front of his hometown. I'm not going to cash it in at Money in the Bank. So then you could have whoever wrestle for the title there. I'm not going to cash it in for SummerSlam. I'm going to cash it in at Bash at Berlin. Getting Gunther in front of that crowd and winning the championship in front of that crowd will do more for him positively, will get him a better reaction overall than I think any other environment. And also, it builds this story of Gunther being in control and really redefining who he is as a wrestler, as a ring general, both physically but also mentally, leading into his inevitable World Championship victory. Now, here's the only problem with that. That plays a lot of hot potato with the World Championship, right? You had Seth Rollins lose it to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, who then lost it to Damian Priest, who will potentially lose it to Drew McIntyre, who will then lose it to Gunther. And honestly, that'd be kind of cool, because Gunther versus Drew McIntyre was my Raw final. And so, like, you still get it. It's just down the road for the title. But I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that it would be a good opportunity for WWE to capitalize on that market, especially somebody who's from that area, or adjacently at least. And then you also have Ludwig Kaiser, who is from there. And it just makes all the sense, man. Like, it needs to happen in this way. Or if you're not going to have Gunther win King of the Ring and then declare that, he needs to win at Bash of Berlin. Like, either way, this all needs to lead to Gunther winning the World Heavyweight Championship or WWE Championship Bash of Berlin. I think the world title makes more sense, because once we get into SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania, The Rock and Roman are going to come back, and they're going to be in the stratosphere of the title that Cody holds. So, world title, give it to Gunther, have him win King of the Ring, have him declare that he wants to cash that in at Bash of Berlin. There you go, WWE. You're welcome. There's your next 4 months of storylines. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below who your Final Four would be. So for me, it's Gunther and Jay on the Raw side. It's LA Knight and AJ Styles on the SmackDown side, with LA Knight and Gunther going to the final, and then Gunther winning. So let me know who you have winning in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you very soon.